Hey, it's Josiah Novak, and welcome to the True Transformation Podcast, the top fitness podcast for men who want to get ripped, naturally boost testosterone levels, and use fitness as a tool to not only look and feel better, but improve all areas of life in the process. Welcome to the show. Buckle up. Life moves fast. Let's make it count.
What are some tips to reduce calorie intake when you're always hungry? So the first thing we have to address is being always hungry, okay? Because reducing calorie intake when you're always hungry is a recipe for disaster. I mean, you're going to ultimately struggle even more with your hunger if you're lowering calories when you're always hungry. So a couple things we need to look at. Number one, are your calories set appropriately? I mean, I'm going to tell you guys straight up, if you're losing fat, you're going to be a little bit hungry. Sometimes, like you're not going to go 24/7 and never feel hunger. Your body's literally losing fat. It's losing its own tissue. So of course it's going to send hunger signals. Whether or not you're actually in need of food or not, that's a whole nother discussion, but you're going to feel the hunger at times. Shouldn't be a 24/7 thing. It shouldn't be a constant, like this question references feeling constant hunger. So we need to make sure that your calories are set appropriately, number one. Number two, we need to make sure you're drinking enough water so that you're not mistaking thirst for hunger. Number three, we need to make sure your exercise strategies are not way too extreme for the amount of calories you're eating. When losing fat, the name of the game is not how hard can I go all the time? That's more of a performance-based goal. The idea is to maintain as much muscle as possible, grow some if possible, but also manage your activity and the type of activity you do so that you don't spark your appetite 24/7. This is why it's hard to do CrossFit and running and all this other stuff when you're trying to get really lean. It's a tough process. You have to be careful because your appetite can quickly get out of control. Not to mention you combine it with stress and life and all the things you have going on. Third thing is we need to look at food choices. If you're eating a bunch of food that is processed, that is highly calorically dense, meaning high amounts of calories in small amounts of food, for example, like chips, right? Yeah, you could eat chips here and there and lose fat, but you're taking in such a small volume of food for that amount of calories that you're ultimately not going to fill your stomach up like you would if you ate a big salad, where you had a bunch of lean protein and potatoes. It's hard to avoid all processed food, but I would say eliminating it as much as possible is going to be a good bet when you're trying to lose fat, just simply because you'll have better appetite control, more nutrient-dense foods, meaning you're getting more nutrients and vitamins and minerals, and more bang for your buck with your calories. You know, a big plate of chicken and potatoes and veggies, it might run you 500-600 calories. I mean, you could knock out 500-600 calories by eating just a couple pieces of like a chocolate bar, right? And that chocolate bar is not going to fill you up like that chicken and potatoes and veggies will. So you have to make sure your food choices are in line with your hunger. If you're constantly hungry, there's something we need to fix. So assuming we fix all those things, well, I'm not going to necessarily recommend reducing calories because it might be time for you to reverse diet so you can eat more food and just put your fat loss goals on hold for a bit. Or heck, even just go to a smaller caloric deficit, meaning, okay, I was burning 700 more calories than I take in every day. Why don't I bump that back to like 200, 300? I'm still going to be losing fat just at a slower rate. That's my recommendation first and foremost. Hunger is a normal part of the equation at times, but it shouldn't be the whole equation. Once again, don't panic if you feel hunger, but don't ignore a lot of hunger signals. Okay, it's very, very important that your fat loss diet be sustainable. Otherwise, you're risking getting a terrible relationship with food, binge eating, gaining the weight back. So be okay with a smaller deficit if it helps you manage your hunger better. And that will come with slower fat loss, but that's okay because you'll be able to keep it off and sustain it.
Thanks for listening to the True Transformation Podcast.
Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Come back next time.